Welcome to the April 29th, 2015 Assembly Appropriations Committee hearing. We don't have a quorum yet, so we're going to start off as a subcommittee. And we're going to start off with Mr. Medina. Since you're here, you're first up. And you have two suspense bills.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
You know, brevity. You know, what's that? You were a high school teacher, right?
Right.
What was that? Brevity is the soul of
wit.
Okay, let's keep it short.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. I'm pleased to present AB 996, which is a measure that would protect teachers' retirement security. AB 996 provides comprehensive information in an easy-to-understand format for teachers to help them make informed financial decisions on CalSTRS 403B comparable websites. CalSTRS is already undergoing website updates, so the fiscal effect will be negligible and most likely absorbable. This bill also requires local and community college boards to create policy regarding 403B vendors. Some school districts have already established a policy, so we believe this would be a small fiscal impact as well. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. With me today is Jennifer Baker from the California Teachers Association.
Thank you.
Good morning, Jennifer Baker with the California Teachers Association, the sponsor of the measure. We've been working with CalSTRS on updating information on their website. They've indicated all the changes that we're looking for to allow educators to have an apples-to-apples comparison of like products is feasible and easily integrated. Additionally, it's very easy for school and community college districts to adopt policies. Many have already begun that process, and this has been done under other issues such as safety issues, but this is either easily incorporated into changing policies or creating a policy specifically for 403B vendor access. Thank you.
Dave Walrath, representing California Retired Teachers Association, in support of the bill for all the reasons just outlined.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support? Individuals from the public in support? Witnesses in opposition? Individuals from the public in opposition? Finance?
No file.
Thank you so much. Questions or comments from the committee? None. Your bill's on suspense.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Next bill.
Pleased to present AB 721. California's public and nonprofit university students fare better than most when it comes to student loan debt. Still in 2013, 55% of those graduating seniors had student loans that averaged over $20,000. Data shows that nearly 50% of students borrowing private loans are leaving federal loan monies on the table. Although there is a small cost to the state, AB 721 is an important bill that provides students with the necessary information to make informed decisions about college attendance costs and student lending options. For these reasons, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Mr. Medina, witnesses in support?
Hi, my name is Debbie Cochran. I'm Research Director with the Institute for College Access and Success. We are a nonprofit, nonpartisan research and advocacy organization based in Oakland. Some of the numbers that Mr. Medina just cited around student loan debt in California, how it compares nationally, and private loan usage, that's our information, our research that we do. And what our real goal is making sure that students have the information they need to make informed choices about where to go to college and how to finance it. These are incredibly important decisions, as you know, for students and families throughout the state, throughout the country. And what this bill would do is make sure that students have the information they need when they need it.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support? Individuals from the public in support? Witnesses in opposition? Individuals from the public in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none. Mr. Medina, thank you for your two suspense presentations. They're actually they're going on suspense, but we will definitely take them into due consideration as we take up the suspense file. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We have a quorum, so Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Gomez.
Here.
Bigelow.
Here.
Bloom. Bonta. Calderon. Chang. Daly. Eggman. Gallagher. Garcia. Holden. Jones. Quirk.
Here.
Rendon. Wagner. Weber. Wood.
Thank you so much. We're going to do a quick procedural. We're going to have a quick procedural motion to dispense with AB 684 Bonilla is on file today for purposes of amendment only. The motion is to amend the bill to adopt an urgency clause and re-refer it back to Appropriations Committee.
So moved.
We have a move and a second. This bill is out on an A roll call. Thank you so much. And refer back to committee.
Mr. Gordon, you're up.
Thank you. I have waived presentation on a couple of bills, but I would like to present AB 594. This bill would reduce redundancy and simplify discrete provisions within the Political Reform Act. Candidly, the Political Reform Act has become very complex and in some instances duplicative.
Move the bill.
Second.
Overall, the bill will make small but meaningful changes with little or no fiscal impact. I would respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you very much. Are there any witnesses in support? Any support or opposition from the audience? Seeing none, questions from members? Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gordon, in the analysis that we have, it mentions that there was a $2,000 limit in the original language, but that was taken out and reduced back to the current $1,000 limit on PRA regulations. Can you share with us why you had it in and then took it out?
In working with the FPPC, there was some initial request for some additional dollars. And when I looked at it closer, I just felt that just wasn't really appropriate.
Okay. I liked the bill, and I kind of liked it with the $2,000 number in there. So I'm taking it out is not enough for me to not voting for it. But okay, thank you. I just was wondering.
Thank you.
Any other members with any questions? If not, Department of Finance, do you have anything?
No file.
Thank you very much. Well, we had a motion and we had a second. Do you want? I'm sorry. That bill is out on an A roll call.
Thank you.
Who's our next? Ms. Garcia. You have a number of bills with us today. What's your pleasure on this?
I'm waiving presentation on AB 188, 302, 1074, and 1117. And I understand AB 1232 is on consent, so I would like to present AB 216 to begin with.
Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you. AB 216 would make it illegal for stores to sell non-nicotine vaping electronic cigarette devices to anyone under the age of 18.
Move the bill.
Current law
Second.
prevents minors from purchasing vaping electronic cigarette devices with nicotine cartridges in them. Even though these devices come without nicotine, it is still a filtration device that can be used for smoking cannabis, nicotine, or other herbal substances. Minors under the age of 18 years old are now free to purchase and use these products. AB 216 is an important first step to protect our children who have become prey to vendors with strategically named non-nicotine vapes with fun flavors like Kool-Aid and Skittles. This bill has minor non-reimbursable local law enforcement costs, offsets to a limited degree by fine revenue. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Do you have any witnesses in support? Any witnesses either supporting or opposing from the audience? Seeing none, Department of Finance?
No file.
No file. Any questions from members? Seeing none, this bill is out on an A roll call with Wagner no.
Great, thank you.
You have another bill?
I do. I have AB 832.
It's okay. You can go ahead and present.
Okay, sorry, I was distracted over here. AB
children are playing on this
832
side, so-
works to
Move
correct
the bill. Second.
discriminatory elements of law for mandated reporters. Currently, this confusing and discriminatory nature of the current law ultimately creates an uneven playing field for all minors, especially those who are gay. AB 832 creates clear, consistent, and non-discriminatory standards for mandated reporter. This bill does not change the law of statutory rape nor child abuse. Such cases would still be reported. The mandated reporters would still be required to distinguish that the acts are voluntary. AB 832 ensures that our youth is treated fairly and clarifies mandated reporters must report what guidelines to follow when using clinical judgment. This bill passed the Public Safety Committee, and this bill is negligible cost to the state. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Any witnesses in support? Seeing anyone from the audience? Thank you. Anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
No file. Okay. Any questions from the members? Seeing none, this bill is out with the Republicans on a B.
Thank you.
Who's our next member? We have Catherine Baker. Miss Baker. You have AB 1058 before us today.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, committee members. I'm pleased to present to you AB 1058, which passed out of the Education Committee with a 7-0 vote. I want to be considerate of this committee's time. So first, let me start by saying that I'm aware testimony before this committee is generally to emphasize the fiscal matters.
Second.
Thank you. I do understand from committee staff, however, there was a question regarding the policy side of this bill, which I'm happy to briefly address, and then take up any other questions the committee may have. This particular bill focuses on training for teachers on best practices on prevention of child abuse. Last year, our good colleague, Mr. Gatto, introduced and the governor signed into law AB 1432 with bipartisan support. This was a bill that required for the first time our school districts to have training on the identification and reporting requirements for child abuse. This bill just adds a component for best practices for prevention, which we currently do not cover in training for teachers. This has been identified as a bill that will cost $58,000, which is a minor cost, easily absorbed, and it's one that has no opposition and has had no votes. And with that, I would respectfully ask for your aye vote and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any speakers in support? Any speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
Yeah, we note that the department estimates that it would require approximately $59,000 and half a position to develop and post the online training module.
Thank you very much. Any questions from members? Seeing none, this is out on a due pass with an A roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're looking for authors, so if there's staff listening out there, so we'll go to some of the members. Mr. Quirk. But just to the staff that's listening, we are looking for authors down in Approps 4202.
So, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Quirk.
I have 5 items on the agenda. I'm going to waive presentation on my suspense candidates, ABs 18, 909, 818, 909, and 1013. 793 is on consent, so I'm just going to present on AB 51. So there are many advantages to allowing motorcyclists to lane split. Reduces congestion, improves rider safety, and prevents rear-end accidents. In California, this practice is not explicitly allowed, nor is it explicitly illegal. AB 51 will make lane splitting legal.
Move the bill.
And provide several guidelines to ensure safe practices. Formally legalizing this practice will allow the California Highway Patrol to do educational outreach campaigns to teach drivers about the importance of safely lane splitting. I have a witness in support.
Thank
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Michael Gunning, Personal Insurance Federation, here in support of AB 51. We think that the bill will improve road safety and help protect motorists and motorcyclists. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there other folks that wishing to testify in support of the bill? Those in opposition of the bill?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, James Lombardo on behalf of the Bay of California Motorcycle Riders Organization. We do endorse the concept of lane sharing. It's the safest way for motorcyclists to get around, especially when traffic stops. Our motorcycles are air-cooled, so we need to keep them moving to keep them from overheating. As Assemblyman Quirk said, this has been a practice for a number of years, and we're working with the author. We're not quite there yet with the language on the speeds, so we're in opposition at this point, but he's the friendliest author we've ever had to work with. So, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Nicholas Harris, I'm the Western States representative for the American Motorcyclist Association, and I have to share with what Mr. Lombardo had to say. We're not there yet on the language, but we're very close. We know there's a study that's basically done from what we hear and coming out, and we are very optimistic that we will have some closure on the language issue here very soon. So we remain opposed, but we're working very closely with the author. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any anybody from the audience wishing to testify? Either support or opposed? Seeing none. Department of Finance?
No file.
No file. Questions from members?
Mr. Lombardo?
Mr. Jones?
Before you, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Not a problem.
I just wanted to get Mr. Lombardo before he got all the way off the dais.
No, this wasn't caused by a motorcycle accident.
Oh, that's good to know.
I thought that was your question.
I'm inclined to support the bill. As you know, I'm an avid motorcycle rider. In fact, in anticipation of this bill, I rode my motorcycle from San Diego to Sacramento this weekend through Santa Barbara. So I went the long way. And I do ride one of those air-cooled motorcycles. So my understanding on the speeds, there was some agreement on the speeds. Can you explain to me where that might be the case?
At this point, there isn't an agreement on the speeds. The speeds were at 10 miles an hour. It's very difficult with a good-sized Harley with 2 people on it, as the chairman of transportation pointed out when he rides. It's awfully difficult at 10 miles an hour to try to keep that thing balanced. So the lower speeds needed to be raised up so that when going at that lower speed through the lanes, it's a safe maneuver. And then I think we're now negotiating on what the top end speed might be.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Quirk, do you have anybody from the CHP here?
Excuse me?
Do you have anybody from the CHP to speak in support of the bill?
CHP is not speaking publicly, but I am in constant talk with them.
Okay.
And this question of whether it's 10 or 15, the speed you can go when traffic stopped, is not something I am an expert in, and I'm hoping that the CHP and the riders will get together and give me the same guidance.
Well, Mr. Lombardo does raise a good point regarding when you have a passenger or not a passenger, you do have to keep the speeds up a little bit more with a passenger just because of the extra weight. one of the things you mentioned in your open is outreach by the CHP to start, advising folks on this. Would that include also doing outreach to advise drivers of cars that this is a legal practice and, the proper etiquette of when they see a motorcycle doing this lane splitting?
Yes, so there was a pamphlet. It was made. There was then a complaint made that since this was not authorized by the state, that the CHP did not have the authority to do that.
Right.
So they shredded all the pamphlets. But they would very much like to do this. In particular, to tell drivers it's illegal to try and block someone lane splitting, which, of course, besides being dangerous, I mean, it could kill somebody.
Right. So I think that's my main concern in moving forward is that the CHP and part of their outreach, not just to motorcyclists but also to car drivers, probably one of the least intelligent decisions I made this weekend was to ride on the 405. And I thought Saturday afternoon, 405, come on, how bad can the traffic be? Well, it's as bad as it could be. So I had a couple of instances where people were trying to block me, and it's a little frustrating and dangerous, as you say. So with that, I agree with you that he is one of the nicest authors to carry this bill. And so I'm going to make a motion for the bill. Oh, I'll second or whatever I need to do at this point in time to support the bill, and look forward to being involved in the conversations.
Absolutely. And as the chair of transportation is also a driver and has the same concern, so we have to address it.
Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, this bill is out with an A vote. Mr. Gallagher voting no.
Very good.
Congratulations. Our next author up is Mr. Perea. Mr. Perea, you have several bills before us. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chair, members, I am waiving presentation on AB 156 and 1124. So only presenting on 1308.
Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. AB 1308 would provide a technical fix that would strengthen the state's apprenticeship system by establishing basic but necessary procedures for the approval of new building and construction trades apprenticeship programs.
Move the bill.
Second. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
That is a wise choice. Thank you very much. Are there any witnesses?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Jeremy Smith here on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council. In light of the motion in the second, I'll just say this treats all programs the same, whether they be union or non-union. We want to make sure these programs that are serving apprentices in the state are not unfairly burdened with new programs being placed near them, which could hurt the graduation of apprentices. So we're happy to support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any witnesses in support from the audience? Seeing none, any opposition?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Richard Markison for the Western Electrical Contractors Association, the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors of California, the Air Conditioning Trade Association, and Associated Builders and Contractors of San Diego. We disagree that this is a technical fix. We think this extends the prohibition against new programs. It closes the door on apprenticeship. One of the reasons that California was derecognized as an entity to supervise federal regulation is the needs test that this perpetuates. We are opposed, and we recommend a no vote.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Seeing none, Department of Finance?
DIR doesn't anticipate any additional costs from this bill.
Any questions from members? We had a motion and a second. This bill is out with a B vote. Ms. Chang not voting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Congratulations, Mr. Perea. Mr. Chavez. What's he presenting on? What's he presenting? Mr. Chavez, I understand you pulled your bill, AB 3044, earlier. What's your pleasure? You had two other bills.
Yes, 1226 to be waived 583 is on consent. I'll only be discussing AB 64.
Okay. Not quite. That's a suspense bill, so.
AB 64, yes.
Yes. Please proceed. Floor is yours.
Thank you. AB 64 is a very simple bill. It deals with the issue of payment. In California, we have a different system for permanent and exempt members who receive a salary and permanent hourly employees who are not salaried. Imagine this. You're an Army reservist working for the state agency as an hourly employee. You work the same amount of hours as your co-workers for 2 years. Then one day you're ordered overseas, a 1-year deployment. You come back. You're reinstated to your job, but there's no longer any funding for you, so you don't get your job. There's no hourly payment for you. What this bill will take care of is that loophole, require that when a reservist comes back to California, even though they're hourly, they'd be able to receive their pay. I'd ask for your support. This is being supported by the Veteran Service Organization, California Corrections Supervisors, California State Firefighters Association, and the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Any questions?
Are there any questions of the presenter? Seeing none. Any witnesses in support? Any comments from the Department of Finance you'd like to make?
No file.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chavez. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sawyer, Jones, Reginald, one of many names.
One great man.
I'm waiving presentation on AB 769 and presenting on Assembly Bill 610, child support. One of the biggest impediments to successful reentry into society is the debt, and in particular child support debt, faced by families who were formerly incarcerated. This indebtedness feeds
Move the bill.
Recidivism and strains both parent and child and parent relationships. AB 610 helps Californians who are currently imprisoned and their families. Today, I have invited Karen Lang, legislative advocate for Placer, San Joaquin, and Stanislaus counties. Thank you, and I humbly ask for your aye vote.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Karen Lang on behalf of the Placer County Board of Supervisors and others in strong support of this bill. The reason the Board of Supervisors is engaged on this is because their county departments are telling them that they cannot collect on these amounts, but they are still punished according to the federal standards for collection on arrears. And those folks that are in jail for a long period of time have no way to earn money to pay those orders, but they still accrue at 10% interest, which hurts the state. That's why the county has an interest in it. It does have an urgency in it because the current version of this law sunsets on July 1st. Ask for your aye vote and thank the author very much for weighing in.
Thank you very much. Are there any other witnesses in support of the bill? Anyone in opposition of the bill? Seeing none, Department of Finance.
No file.
Thank you very much. Questions of the presenter? Mr. Jones, this bill is out with an A. Mr. Gallagher will be no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Lackey.
Good morning, Chair and members. I have the pleasure of presenting to you AB 272, which clarifies that peace officers are employees with protections under the Fair Employment and Housing Act. Under existing law.
You have a motion and a second, Mr. Lackey.
I'm done.
I would suggest you just simply request an aye vote.
I do the very thing you just suggested. I
Thank you
respectfully
very much.
request an aye vote. I learn quick.
Very good. Witnesses in support. Might want to make it simple and short.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members. I'm Pete Downs with the California Reserve Peace Officers Association, a board member, and we appreciate Mr. Lackey bringing this bill forward for us. And we see this as an opportunity for you to make almost 6,000 reserve peace officers the same protection that almost everyone in this room has under FIA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in support of this bill? Any opposition? Department of Finance.
No file.
No file. Thank you very much. Any questions from the members? Seeing none, this is out on an A.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. We have no authors right now, so we're... Oh, Mr. Garcia, almost... We'll jump...
I was just waiting for you to give me the okay.
We was looking down on the floor.
Okay, we will. We do have 3 items on the agenda. 1093 is on consent, so we'll waive that presentation. I'll start with AB 1089. It is a district bill that would expand the Coachella Valley Mountain Conservancy Governing Board, which was established by the State of California in 1991, to include the cities of Indio and Coachella. The measure has minor cost and has
Move
passed
the bill.
out
Second.
of committee unanimously. I ask for your aye vote.
Very good. Witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Department of Finance?
The Conservancy indicates that any cost would be minor and absorbable.
Very good. Any questions from the members? Seeing none, this bill is out on an A.
Okay, thank you. The next bill is 1059. Very similar bill that would improve public health in the California-Mexico border region.
Move the bill.
Working with
Second.
Cal Screen, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
You are so quick. That was great.
I learned from all of you very quickly.
Witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
Questions from members? Seeing none, this is out on an A as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ms. Eggman. Oh. Ms. Eggman, I didn't see Mr. Thurman. He had arrived. Let's give him the courtesy. Mr. Thurman. Mr. Thurman, you have AB 1343.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Thank you. It is an honor to present 1343. This bill simply codifies U.S. Supreme Court and California court decisions that hold that defense counsel must provide a non-citizen defendant with affirmative and competent advice on the immigration consequences of a proposed disposition.
Move the bill.
Second.
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. You have a witness's support?
We do. Ms. Rachel Brandini from the Immigrant Legal Resource Center.
Thank you.
Rachel Brandini on behalf of the Immigrant Legal Resource Center, which sponsors this bill. We urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Witnesses from the audience in support? Witnesses, are you in support? Yes, thank you.
Steven Sepulveda on behalf of the California Immigrant Policy Center in strong support of this bill.
Thank you very much. Witnesses in opposition? Seeing none. Department of Finance?
No file.
Questions from members? Mr. Wagner.
Just a brief concern. I guess I'd like you to address it. I don't think it'll derail me from supporting the bill, but my concern is if defense counsel doesn't do this, or if the defendant makes an allegation later, the defense counsel did not give them the requisite notice. What do you say to those who worry, like I do, that that's a grounds for setting aside a plea, or will at least require the courts to dig back into this, perhaps interfere with the attorney-client relationship, that it could further burden our already overburdened courts?
Well, it's certainly not our intent. Thank you for the question, Assembly Member. It's certainly not our intent to overburden any of our court systems. Our intent simply is to make sure that everyone has what we all would expect in any court of law, the understanding to know what the full consequences of any decision could be, including deportation. Actually, we're hopeful that this can help to reduce some of the burden on the court by giving the defense attorney and the prosecutors a chance to work together in situations involving plea bargaining, because the person being defended understands what their full consequences could be and their full rights. So we're not looking to burden the courts. We're looking to make sure that people are fully informed about consequences and rights before the court.
Right. I appreciate that's not your intent. It seems to me the concern is it could, though, be the outcome. I mean, unintended consequences is one of the things we do best in this building, unfortunately. What I guess I would want to hear from you is a statement or from the witnesses, would the alleged failure of the defense counsel to give this sort of warning be sufficient in your mind and under the current precedents to overturn the plea?
Our witness is prepared to speak on that particular aspect of your question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We see this bill as a codification of current Supreme Court and California state law. And so this doesn't create any new burden on defense counsel. They already have this affirmative burden to advise on the immigration consequences of a criminal conviction. So there is potential that it could be grounds for an ineffective assistance of counsel claim, but that's already the law under current Supreme Court precedent. So this doesn't create any additional burden.
Then what's the point of this bill? If that's the procedure already.
Well, we are codifying a court decision, and so that is clear. There have been questions, and so since the court decision, we believe that codifying the bill will help to remove any question, provide light and shed light on the action that the court has taken.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Quirk, you have the floor.
Yeah, just to say, when we analyzed this in public safety, we came to the same conclusion the witness in support has, that this is simply codifying. We sent the bill forward because we do think it is important that everyone be aware of this precedent.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? If not, this bill was moved and seconded, and it's out on an A. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Alea.